You stand before them. The Council of Worlds at dawn. Their forms shimmer, ancient and vast. They are beings of pure thought and starlight, carved from the bedrock of time itself. You are small here, a flicker of humanity, a brief candle against their eternal glow. Your presence is a courtesy, a final formality before the end. The eldest of them, a being called Luminous, One, projects its thoughts into your mind. Its voice is a slow, cosmic tide. It speaks of a great and final darkness, an unraveling of the cosmic tapestry, a thing called the silence. It is not an enemy to be fought. It is a truth to be accepted. A final, graceful closing of the book. The council chambers are a sphere of captured twilight. Nebulas swirl in the high, vaulted ceilings. Other delegates are here, the chitinous Cathar, the crystalline Sill, dozens of races, each older and wiser than your own. They listen with solemn acceptance. Their minds are vast oceans of experience. And they have all reached the same conclusion. Dignity is the word they use. A dignified end. To face the inevitable with grace. They will gather their histories. They will store their knowledge in shielded vaults. Then they will shepherd their stars into a final, gentle sleep. They will meet the nothingness with quiet reverence. It is the proper way, the wise way. They see no other path. The time for deliberation is over. Luminous, One asks for the final accord, a vote to begin the great retreat, to go gentle into that good night. One by one, the delegates assent. Their minds resonate with a unified, somber chime. The Cathar agree. The Sill agree. The star voyagers and the deep dwellers. All bow to the coming night. Then, it is your turn, humanity's turn. You feel the weight of every eye, every mind. They expect your quiet agreement. The young race should follow its elders. You are the delegate for Earth, for Sul, for a species that has only just learned to walk among the stars. And you have your instructions. You stand taller, a simple act of defiance. You clear your throat, a sound shockingly physical in this place of thought. The council waits. They believe you are gathering your words for a sad farewell. Instead, you speak the word your people gave you, the one word that defines them, the one word that changes everything. No. The word echoes in the silent chamber. Not a thought, but a sound, a vibration in the ancient air. The heads of the Sill, like cut gems, turn towards you. The Cathar's mandibles click in surprise. Luminous One projects a feeling of mild confusion, a query, a request for you to explain this illogical sound. The council proposes a great retreat into silence. They offer a dignified and peaceful end. You, for humanity, refuse to go quietly. You speak again, your voice stronger now. We respectfully decline the great retreat, you say. Humanity does not do dignified ends. A few of the younger delegates stir. A ripple of something new moves through the chamber. Luminous One presses for a reason. Its logic is flawless, its star science irrefutable. The silence is an entropy field. It does not destroy, it erases. It unwinds the very laws that allow existence. To fight it is to fight the concept of the end, a battle that cannot be won, a child's tantrum against the tide. You explain humanity's position. It is not born of advanced star science. It comes from something far older, something baked into your very being. You tell them of your history, a history of fighting lost causes, a history of impossible odds. You tell them that hope is not a logical calculation. It is a necessary fiction. The elders are not impressed. They call it arrogance. the hubris of a species barely out of its cradle. They have watched empires rise and fall like embers from a fire. They have seen 1,000 brave stands amount to nothing. Your defiance is noted, but it is ultimately meaningless. The vote is recorded. The council will proceed. Humanity is on its own. You are dismissed from the chamber. As you leave, a younger delegate, a being of woven light, gives a subtle nod, a sign of secret approval. But most just watch you go with pity. The poor, foolish humans, raging against the dying of the light, they have no idea what is coming for them. They will learn the hard way. You return to your ship, a small, swift vessel named the Audacity, a very human name. Your journey back to your home system is long. You pass through the territories of the elder races. You see their preparations for the end. Great fleets of starships, not for war, but for slumber. Planets being encased in timeless shields, civilizations preparing for their own quiet funerals. It is a somber journey, a flight through a galaxy that has already surrendered. But as you cross the threshold into your own system, Soul, the view changes. There are no fleeing arcs here, no planets being shut down. The skies are not dark and silent. They are ablaze with activity, a chaotic, vibrant, and utterly human scene. You arrive home, not to a people packing their bags, not to a civilization composing its own eulogy. You arrive to find humanity building something impossible, something magnificent. A vast cage of light is being constructed around your sun, a lattice work of impossible energies and strange matter. It hums with a power you do not recognize. Docking stations swarm with activity. Construction drones, like fireflies, zip back and forth. They carry girders made of solidified light. They weave cables of pure information. Every asteroid, every moon, every planet in the system is involved. Mars is a foundry. Jupiter's gravity is a great forge. Earth is the command center for this grand, insane project. You land at a station orbiting Earth. The air is thick with purpose. People move with a focused energy. There are no tears. There is no despair. There is only work to be done. An admiral greets you on the landing pad. She has tired eyes, but a fierce smile. She asks about the council meeting. You tell her they think you are all fools. She laughs, a genuine, hearty laugh. Good, she says. Let them. We work better when underestimated. She leads you to a viewing port. Outside, the great cage continues to grow. It is beautiful and terrifying. A web of light and shadow spun around a star. It looks like a trap, or a beacon, or perhaps a musical instrument of cosmic scale. The council has a name for your project. They call it Humanity's Folly, a foolish monument to your own stubbornness. You learn its real name. Project Anchor of Memory. The Admiral explains its purpose. It is not a weapon to fight the silence. It is not a shield to block it. You cannot fight nothingness with something. It is a loom, a star-born loom. Humanity is weaving its entire story into its structure. Every song ever sung, every book ever written, every painting ever made, every scientific discovery, every whispered declaration of love, every cry of a newborn child, every last memory of a species that refused to simply fade away. The Admiral shows you the data streams. They are not cold lines of code. They are symphonies of light and sound. The works of Bach and the blues from a smoky bar. The equations of Einstein and a child's drawing of a house. The joy of a festival. The grief of a funeral. The messy, chaotic, beautiful story of what it meant to be human. It is an act of pure defiance. If the silence comes to erase you, to make it so you never were, then you will leave behind a monument to your existence. A testament so loud, so vibrant, so absolutely present, that the nothingness will have to choke on it. You are not trying to survive. You are trying to be remembered, to leave a scar on the face of oblivion. The elder races built vaults of logic, caches of sterile data. They preserved their star science and their histories. They believe this is what is worth saving. Humanity believes otherwise. You are saving the laughter and the tears, the triumphs and the failures. You are saving the very soul of your species, and you are broadcasting it for all to see. As the anchor of memory nears completion, something strange happens. A signal comes from deep space, not from the council worlds, not from any known civilization. It comes from the dust between galaxies, from a place that should be empty. A voice from the void, a forgotten whisper from the dawn of time. It is a weak signal, faint and distorted by ages of travel. But it is intelligent, and it is directed at you. At Soul, your best language experts work tirelessly. Your brightest minds focus on deciphering the ancient message. It is a language of pure mathematics, elegant and profound, a dialect the universe itself understands. The message is translated, and it sends a shockwave through your system. The voice identifies itself as the Keepers, a civilization thought to be mythical. A people who existed before the Council of Worlds at dawn was even formed. They were the first to encounter the silence, and they are the reason it is so feared. The Keepers recognize what you are building. They call your anchor of memory by an older name, a name from their own lost history, the echo of being. They say they tried to build one as well, a grand machine to hold back the tide of nothingness. They ask to share their story with you, a warning from the ghosts of the past. You open a channel. You accept their offer. The Keeper's tale unfolds, a story of a civilization at its absolute peak. They had mastered energy and matter. They understood the deepest secrets of star science. They were a people of pure, unblemished logic. They saw the silence coming, a flaw in the cosmic code, and they set out to correct it. Their echo of being was a marvel of engineering, a fortress of perfect reason. It contained all of their knowledge, all of their logic, all of their flawless proofs of existence. When the silence came, their machine met it head on. It argued with the void. It presented irrefutable evidence that the universe should exist. It was the ultimate logical debate, and it failed. The Keepers tell you why. Their logic was not enough. You cannot reason with absolute absence. The silence is not an argument to be won. It is a state of non-being. Their machine, their perfect fortress of reason, was simply erased, unwritten from the story of the cosmos. The Keepers themselves survived only as echoes, faint patterns of data drifting in the void. They tell you their story, not to discourage you, but to give you hope. Because your anchor is different. They have been listening to it, monitoring the strange energies it emits. Your anchor of memory is not a fortress of logic. It is not a sterile database. It is what they call a symphony of chaos, a beautiful, glorious mess. They did not understand it at first. Your machine sings with emotions, things their logical minds could never quantify. Joy, grief, love, rage. It sings with the illogical, defiant spark of life itself. Their echo was silent and perfect. Yours is loud and flawed. And that, the Keepers believe, might be the key. You are not trying to reason with the void. You are shouting at it. Your anchor is a testament to what it means to be alive, not just to think, but to feel. The Keepers preserve their minds. You are preserving your hearts. Their gambit failed because it tried to prove existence was logical. You are proving it is beautiful and chaotic and worth remembering. The keepers wish you luck. Their final message is one word: sing. The work on the anchor continues with renewed purpose. Humanity now understands its mission. You're not just saving yourselves. You are avenging the keepers. You are proving that a story, even a messy one, is more powerful than a perfect equation. The final pieces of the great machine are put into place. The symphony is ready to be played. Then the alarms begin to scream across the entire system, from the Kuiper Belt to the shores of Mercury. The star science reports are impossible. The silence is not years away, not months. It is here. It has arrived early. The void is at your doorstep, faster than any model predicted, as if it sensed your purpose, and it came to stop you. The observers from other worlds, the few who remain to watch your folly, flee in terror. Their ships warp out of your system at emergency speeds. They send panicked messages back to the Council. The humans were right to be afraid. But they were wrong about the timescale. The end is not coming. The end has arrived. You are utterly alone now. Your system is an island in a sea of encroaching nothingness. The outer edge of your territory begins to flicker. The first world to face the silence is your colony on Pluto, a small outpost of scientists and dreamers. Charon Station, a brave little light in the deep dark. You watch the feeds from the colony. There is no explosion, no screaming, no violence. The signal simply fades. One moment, you see the faces of your people, their eyes wide with a strange wonder. The next moment, there is only static, not just the signal. The planet itself is gone, not destroyed, erased, as if a celestial editor had deleted a word. The last message from Charon Station is just 2 words. A scientist's voice, filled not with terror, but with awe. "It's beautiful," she whispers. And then, nothing. She's gone. The colony is gone. The planet is gone. The very memory of them begins to feel thin, like a dream upon waking. This is the horror of the silence. It doesn't kill you. It makes it so you never were. The darkness advances. It swallows the outer planets one by one. Neptune, Uranus. Each one vanishes without a trace. A wave of non-existence washing over your home. It is a slow, silent, and unstoppable tide. It is heading for the inner system, for Saturn, for Jupiter, for Mars, and for Earth. It is coming for your sun. The moment has come. There is no more time for preparation. The admiral on the command station gives the order. A single, clear command that echoes across the system. Begin. From the heart of the great cage of light around your sun, the anchor of memory awakens. It releases its first note. It is not a sound, not a blast of energy. It is something else entirely. A wave of pure, unadulterated being. A pulse of absolute presence. It is the first note of humanity's song. A defiant chord struck against the utter silence of the void. It is the color of a sunrise, the feeling of a first kiss, the taste of victory. The wave of existence washes outward from the sun. It meets the incoming tide of nothingness. And for the first time, the silence stops. The advance of the void halts at the edge of the asteroid belt. The erasure pauses. A line has been drawn in the cosmic sand, a border between being and not being. The song of Earth pushes back. It is a chaotic symphony. It has the roar of a rocket engine and the gentle melody of a lullaby. It carries the weight of history and the lightness of a joke. It is everything humanity ever was, is, and could be. It opposes the utter absence of the void with the absolute presence of life. The anchor glows, a brilliant, defiant star in the face of the encroaching dark. The resistance of being has begun. The void, which has consumed galaxies without effort, has met something it does not understand. It has met a story, a loud, messy, and stubborn story that refuses to be erased. News of your stand travels fast. The fleeing observers report what they saw. A single system, a single young race, holding back the inevitable. The Council of Worlds at dawn receives the reports in stunned silence. Their star science said this was impossible. Their logic dictated that the silence could not be stopped. And yet, it had been. On the Council Worlds, a schism begins. The elders urge caution. They see this as a temporary reprieve, a final brilliant flash before the end. They argue that humanity's anchor will inevitably fail, that you are only delaying the final piece. They call for the Great Retreat to continue as planned. But the younger worlds, the ones who have not yet grown weary of existence, see something else. They see hope. They see a new path. The delegate of woven light, the one who nodded at you, now speaks out. He accuses the elders of cowardice, of choosing a dignified death over a difficult life. He says that humanity has taught them a lesson. A debate rages across the galaxy, a council divided by hope. The younger races argue that they should not go quietly into the night. They should add their own songs to humanity's. They should stand with you. The elders resist. They fear that such an act would only attract the silence's attention, that it would hasten their own end. Defying their elders, several of the younger races act. Fleets are launched, not fleets of sleeping arks, but fleets carrying aid. Ships laden with energy, with resources, with their own cultural data. They are coming to your system. They are coming to help you sing. They have chosen to stand with the fools. They have chosen to stand with humanity. The void is not a passive force. It is not an idle tide. It seems to have a will, a malevolent intelligence. Seeing its advance halted, it focuses its power. It presses in on your system with immense force. The silent, empty pressure intensifies. It is no longer trying to erase you. It is trying to crush you. The strain on the anchor of memory is immense. The cage of light around your sun begins to flicker. The beautiful, complex latticework shows signs of stress. Hairline fractures appear in the beams of solidified light. The song of humanity, once so strong and clear, begins to waver. The note of defiance is strained. The pressure is centered on your sun, the source of your life and the heart of your anchor. The silence is trying to extinguish your star, to plunge your system into a final, cold darkness. The engineers and scientists work frantically. They divert power. They reinforce crumbling sections. But it is not enough. The anchor is beginning to fail. The hum of the great machine grows discordant. The symphony of chaos is turning into a scream of pain. The light of the anchor dims. The line against the void begins to recede. The darkness pushes past the asteroid belt. It consumes the empty space where Jupiter once was. It licks at the orbit of Mars. The end seems close once again. Your people do not despair. They continue to broadcast. They pour every last ounce of their being into the song. If this is the end, they will go out singing. They will make their last stand a loud one. The admiral on the command station watches the approaching darkness with a steady gaze. She has done all she can. Now, you can only wait. Just as a critical section of the anchor is about to shatter, help arrives. A fleet of ships, glowing with unfamiliar energies, warps into your system. It is the fleet of the younger worlds, the ships of the woven light beings, the vessels of a dozen other races who chose hope over despair. They have come. They do not fire weapons. They do not deploy shields. They open a channel to your anchor. They add their songs to yours, the pure mathematical music of the woven light beings, the deep, resonant chants of the stone-skinned Gorok, the fluttering, intricate melodies of the winged avians. 100 different cultures, 100 different stories. The single, strained voice of humanity becomes a chorus, a galactic orchestra of defiance. The anchor of memory, once fracturing, is now reinforced by this new symphony. The fractures heal. The light brightens, shining with 1,000 new colors. The song becomes a roar, a wall of sound and being and memory. The pressure from the void intensifies. It is a focused, hateful thing now. A predator denied its prey, but it cannot break the chorus. The combined song of 1,000 worlds is too strong. The advance of the silence is halted once more. This time, it is pushed back past the orbit of Mars, back beyond the asteroid belt. A new equilibrium is found. A stable frontier is established. The void presses in, and the chorus pushes back. The line between being and nothingness holds firm. The galaxy is safe. For now. The cost of this safety is vigilance. The song must never stop. The chorus must never fade. The great retreat is cancelled. The Council of Worlds at dawn is reformed. The elder races, humbled and awed, concede leadership to those who chose to fight. The galaxy has a new purpose, not to prepare for a dignified end, but to participate in an eternal performance. Your system, Sol, becomes a holy place, a nexus point, the heart of the new galactic chorus. Races from across the stars make the pilgrimage. They come to add their voices to the anchor, to contribute their stories to the great wall of memory. The silence is still there, a constant lurking threat at the edge of existence. But it is held at bay. The great vigil begins, a long watch that will last for eternity. Humanity, the young, foolish, stubborn race, is no longer seen as an upstart. You are the keepers of the song, the ones who reminded the galaxy that it was better to scream into the darkness than to let the silence win. You taught them that a story, any story, is worth fighting for. And so, you stand together and you sing.